There's a kind of pain that quietly steals little moments from your life. It's the stiffness in your knees when you climb out of bed, the ache in your hands when you twist open a jar, the dull throb that makes even a short walk feel like a mountain climb. For so many people over 50, this pain is brushed off as just getting older. But here's the truth. Age may change the body, but it doesn't have to condemn us to suffering. The real culprit is inflammation, a hidden fire in the joints that can be soothed, not simply endured. And today, we're not talking about pills or prescriptions, but something more natural, more delicious, and surprisingly powerful. I'm Dr. Brian, and welcome to Channel Wellness Blueprint Over 50. Together, we'll explore four smoothies, simple blends of everyday foods that can calm inflammation, ease arthritis pain, and help restore joy and movement. When we talk about inflammation, I want you to imagine a tiny fire smoldering inside your joints. It's your body's natural alarm system, but when it stays lit too long, it begins to burn the very tissues meant to protect you. Certain foods act like water on that fire, cooling it down and restoring balance. Turmeric carries curcumin, a natural extinguisher, especially when paired with black pepper. Berries and mango fight the sparks of oxidative stress. Ginger and cinnamon calm stiff pathways, while avocado and chia deliver omega-3 oils that repair. Together, they form a gentle but powerful defense. I still remember a patient of mine named Evelyn, a retired teacher who loved to garden. Over the years, arthritis in her knees made it hard for her to kneel among her flowers. She told me, "Dr. Brian, the garden used to be my sanctuary, but now it just feels like a battlefield." Instead of relying only on medication, I introduced her to a simple daily ritual, a golden smoothie blending turmeric and mango. Within weeks, Evelyn reported that her mornings felt lighter, her knees less swollen, and her spirit renewed. So why is this smoothie such a force against inflammation? Mango is more than a sweet tropical treat. It's packed with vitamin C, the building block for collagen, which keeps cartilage resilient. Bananas add potassium to ease muscle cramps that often tag along with joint pain. Then comes the star, turmeric. Within its golden hue lies curcumin, a compound proven in clinical research, including a study published in the Journal of Medicinal Food, to reduce inflammatory enzymes. But here's a secret most people don't know. Curcumin on its own struggles to enter the bloodstream. That's why we pair it with a pinch of black pepper. Black pepper contains piperine, which acts like a key, unlocking curcumin's potential so your body can actually use it. The base is almond milk, smooth and dairy-free, giving the drink a creamy texture without burdening digestion. And then we stir in chia seeds, little specks of nutrition that swell with omega-3s. These healthy fats work like oil for your joints, reducing friction and nourishing damaged tissues. Blend all of this with a handful of ice, and what you get isn't just a drink, it's a bright, golden medicine disguised as comfort. Now let's talk about weaving it into daily life. Some people ask, do I have to drink this every day to see results? The truth is, consistency matters. Evelyn began making it 3 times a week, and soon it became part of her morning rhythm, just like brushing her teeth. You don't have to overhaul your entire diet overnight. Start small, maybe every other morning, and allow it to become your body's gentle reset. If you'd like to experiment, toss in a slice of pineapple for extra bromelain, another enzyme that fights swelling. Or swap almond milk for oat milk if that's what you prefer. A sprinkle of hemp seeds can deepen the protein content, making it a filling breakfast. The beauty of this smoothie is that it bends to your taste while keeping its healing core intact. When Evelyn returned months later, she didn't just tell me about her knees. She brought me photos of her roses, bright and blooming, with her smiling in the middle of them. That's what this is really about. Not just easing pain, but reclaiming the little joys as arthritis tries to steal. With every sip of that turmeric mango blend, you're not just feeding your body, you're watering the garden of your life, one golden glass at a time. There's something powerful about berries, the way they hold so much color, flavor, and life in such a small package. I had a gentleman in his early 60s named Robert who came to see me about the stiffness in his hands. He had worked with wood his whole life, carving and shaping, but arthritis had begun to make even holding his tools painful. We sat together, and I asked him to try something simple, A daily smoothie with a mix of berries and a touch of fresh ginger. He chuckled and said, "Doctor, you're prescribing me a milkshake?" Yet within weeks, he admitted that his fingers were loosening and the morning stiffness didn't grip him quite so hard. Berries are nature's defense against a hidden enemy called oxidative stress. Think of oxidative stress as little sparks flying around inside your joints, chipping away at healthy tissue. Berries, blueberries, raspberries, strawberries are full of anthocyanins, compounds that act like firefighters, dousing those sparks before they spread. Ginger steps in as a partner, carrying gingerols, natural chemicals that reduce inflammatory signals. When blended together, they create a double-layered shield for your joints. Spinach is another quiet hero in this blend. Often overlooked, it's filled with vitamins A, C, and K, along with magnesium, minerals your muscles and bones rely on to stay strong and coordinated. Imagine spinach as the scaffolding inside your body, keeping the whole structure steady. For the liquid base, coconut water or almond milk keeps it hydrating yet light, while ground flaxseed adds omega-3 fatty acids. Those tiny seeds might look unimpressive, but they help oil the hinges of your joints. And if you like a hint of sweetness, a teaspoon of honey or maple syrup can soften the tartness of the berries without undoing their benefits. Now here's where the science and the story come together. A study published in Advances in Nutrition showed that diets rich in anthocyanins are linked with reduced markers of inflammation, especially in older adults. This isn't just folklore. It's measurable, scientific fact. For Robert, those berries became more than fruit. They became his daily tool for reclaiming dexterity, allowing him to return to his woodworking, even if only for short sessions. Making this smoothie can also become a ritual, not just a recipe. Wash your berries slowly, appreciating their colors. Slice a bit of ginger, noticing its earthy scent. Blend them into a vibrant purple drink that feels like liquid energy. I often tell my patients, healing isn't just about nutrients. It's about reminding yourself daily that you're worth the care. Over time, Robert sent me a small carved box as a thank you. Inside, he had placed a note. This was only possible because my hands remembered how to move again. And that's the point. Each sip is more than flavor. It's a chance to reduce pain, restore mobility, and keep alive the passions that define who you are. When people think about arthritis pain, they often imagine the knees or the hands. But one of my patients, Clara, reminded me that the back can be just as relentless. She was 71, a retired librarian, and she told me the simple act of standing to cook her favorite family meals had become unbearable. I wanted to give her something refreshing, easy, and deeply healing. That's when I introduced her to the pineapple green smoothie. At first, she wrinkled her nose. Greens in a smoothie? But she tried it, and over time, it became her afternoon comfort. The magic begins with pineapple. Beyond its tropical sweetness lies bromelain, an enzyme that works like a natural anti-inflammatory medication. Bromelain doesn't just mask discomfort, it actively reduces swelling in soft tissues and joints. It's as if tiny gardeners go to work inside the body, trimming away the overgrowth of inflammation that crowds movement. For Clara, this meant her lower back stopped screaming every time she bent over. Next comes avocado, creamy and full of monounsaturated fats. These are the good fats that act like the oil in an old door hinge, reducing squeaks and groans so movement feels smoother. Avocado also provides antioxidants that guard the cells in your joints from further damage. Then we sprinkle in cinnamon. Beyond its warm flavor, cinnamon contains compounds that block specific inflammatory messengers in the body. Imagine someone turning down the volume on a loudspeaker blaring pain signals. That's what cinnamon quietly does. Greens like spinach or kale join the mix, offering vitamin K, magnesium, and calcium. These nutrients are crucial for maintaining strong bones and steady muscles. People often forget that arthritis is not just about joints, it's also about the surrounding structures that either support or strain them. Greens help reinforce that entire system. As a base, I recommend coconut water or almond milk. Coconut water hydrates with electrolytes, while almond milk provides a light, creamy texture without the heaviness of dairy. When Clara first blended this smoothie, she told me she was surprised at how refreshing it tasted. Bright pineapple mellowed by creamy avocado, with just a whisper of spice. It wasn't a punishment, it was a treat. And when she made it part of her daily routine, she found she could stand longer at the stove, cooking the Sunday dinners that had always been her way of showing love to her family. Research supports this too. A clinical trial noted that bromelain supplementation significantly reduced pain and improved function in patients with knee osteoarthritis. That means what's in Clara's glass is more than refreshment. It's evidence-based nourishment. Sometimes when we talk about food as medicine, it can sound abstract, but I like to think of it this way. Every sip of this smoothie is like a gentle massage for your joints, soothing tension and restoring ease. For Clara, it gave her back the kitchen, the laughter of her grandchildren around the table, the smell of her famous chicken soup simmering again. And that is far more than relief. It is reclaiming a piece of her identity. Some remedies surprise us not only with their taste, but with their color. Golden beets are one of those treasures. I once met Harold, a 74-year-old former choir director, who said his mornings felt like he was walking through wet cement. His joints were stiff, his energy low, and he missed the vibrant days when he could stand and sing with his choir. I suggested a smoothie built around golden beets and oranges. He laughed at first. "Doctor, you want me to drink a beet?" But he agreed to try. Months later, Harold returned with a lightness in his step and even hummed as he walked into my office. Golden beets carry compounds called betalains. I like to describe them as tiny repair crews working inside the joints, reducing inflammation while also supporting the liver in clearing toxins that weigh the body down. Unlike their red cousins, golden beets have a milder, slightly sweet flavor, which blends beautifully with citrus. Pairing them with a fresh orange adds a burst of vitamin C, crucial for collagen production, the protein scaffolding that cushions joints. Together, beet and orange form a duo that doesn't just soothe pain, but also strengthens the very tissues that make movement possible. Carrots join the mix, offering beta-carotene and vitamin A, both of which are essential for keeping tissues resilient and fighting off oxidative stress. Then there's turmeric root, golden and earthy, reinforcing the anti-inflammatory effect with curcumin. Combined with the natural hydration of coconut water, this smoothie becomes both refreshing and medicinal. When Harold blended his first golden beet smoothie, he was skeptical. Yet the bright orange color reminded him of sunrise, and he told me it felt like drinking a glass of morning. Within weeks, he noticed his joints no longer felt as heavy, and the daily fatigue that once kept him tethered to his recliner began to lift. More importantly, he started walking to his local community center again, where he joined in song with his old choir friends. That joy, the kind that comes from reconnecting with something you love, is every bit as healing as the nutrients themselves. Science backs this up too. Research in nutrients has highlighted how beet compounds reduce oxidative stress and support vascular health, which means better blood flow to nourish every tissue, including the joints. And vitamin C from citrus has long been studied for its role in collagen synthesis, protecting cartilage from wear and tear. I often remind my patients that food is more than fuel. It's a message. When you drink a golden beet and orange smoothie, you're telling your body, "I'm ready to heal, I'm ready to move, I'm ready to reclaim my life." For Harold, it wasn't just about less pain. It was about lifting his voice again, standing tall with his choir, and rediscovering that sense of belonging and vitality. So when you see that glowing blend in your glass, remember, it's not just a smoothie. It's a sunrise for your joints, a daily invitation to step back into the rhythm of life with less pain and more music. If there's one truth I've learned after decades of caring for people over 50, it's that change is always possible. Whether it's turmeric's golden strength, the deep purple of berries, the tropical brightness of pineapple, or the sunrise glow of beets, each of these smoothies is more than flavor. They're steps toward freedom from stiffness and pain. You deserve mornings that feel light, hands that move with ease, and days filled with joy instead of limitation. Start small, stay consistent, and watch your body respond. I'm Dr. Brian. Thank you for joining me here on Wellness Blueprint Over 50.